Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatidam Gaganasadarsham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Brahma. So, this is our first satsang in Singapore. Not first visit to Singapore. Some people might think so now. But first satsang in Singapore. So, I'm sure many of you must have or are expecting to have Kriya also, I think. Otherwise nobody will come. How many people want Kriya? Oh my God, almost. And I don't see, but I'm sure there are some people here who have taken Kriya from me many years ago and practiced only on that day. So it will be a good review for us, for those who have already Kriyavans. So you will get Kriya, no question about that. But no, there are two reasons. One is not my fault, but I came late. Compensation. Flight got delayed. And the other is, first time I've come to Singapore, I'm sure many people have expectations to take Kriya. There are two reasons. But today we will not discuss anything about Kriya. So please don't get worried, which is why I told you will get Kriya. Because we need a background. Why, how, what is the purpose? Kriya is not merely breathing in and out. Although it involves breathing, of course, pranayama. But so today we will spend time. This is an introductory session right now. So the whole day, all the sessions we will deal with what are we seeking and where are we going. Yeah, Kriya, yes, but why? Right? Isn't it right to do that? If you, why do we want? So, there is one more reason why we need to go this way. Because I have seen people suddenly, with great enthusiasm, start practicing something. And then they get into trouble. They don't know where they are going. You have no idea the number of emails I receive about people who have practiced something suddenly and then got all messed up. They don't know what to do. So it's a good idea to you have a Google map. Where are we going? Right? Which is why I want to spend today with explaining where we are going. It's not a new invention, this procedure. One of the greatest writers on yoga, whose works are accepted as the standard textbook or guidance on yoga, none other than Patanjali Maharishi. Not Patanjali that sells medicine, okay? Great Patanjali. Now, I have nothing against medicine, I'm just saying, don't mistake this Patanjali and that Patanjali. So Patanjali, who is the writer who gave to us the Yoga Sutras, which are accepted as the standard textbook on the practice and theory of yoga, what yoga is. Again, not just Hollywood yoga, okay? Not just physical yoga, more than that. Physical yoga is good, I'm not denying that, because I practice asanas every day from the age of 10 till today, which is why I'm staying put like this, okay? I think so. So, you know that in India, we have the Darshanas. Darshana means, it's translated as philosophies of spiritual and material life. But the word darshana is very interesting because it means seeing something face to face. Darshan. Did you have darshan of the deity? Did you have... Darshan means face to face. So all the ancient 5 systems in India, starting with... Anybody? Of course, Sankhya. Sankhya is very old, of course. Right. All the Mimamsas, all the Sankhya and Vedanta. So yoga has also been given a place as one of the darshanas, Yoga Darshana. Although it derives much of its terminology from Sankhya. Kapila, the great Muni, who formulated Sankhya for us, is so important that Vyasa makes Krishna say in the Gita that among the sages I am Kapila. Right? So Sankhya came from Kapila. This is very interesting. Kapila in Sanskrit would mean blonde. Kapila, one whose case is Pila, yellow. Who knows, maybe Kapila was a blonde, we don't know. Anyway, so from Kapila has come, from Sankhya many of the terms have been taken into yoga. Tattvas, Purusha, Prakriti, the whole thing. Now, in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, there are other textbooks on yoga. Please understand that Kriya is a yoga, a science of yoga, part of the science of yoga, which is why I need to go into this. Patanjali's text is also called Ashtanga Yoga because it has 8 parts. Ashtangas. Ashta means 8, right? 8 parts. But nowhere in the Yoga Sutras has Patanjali called it Ashtanga Yoga. Although it has 8 angas and it has become popular as Ashtanga Yoga, this is very interesting. Patanjali calls it Kriya Yoga. Maybe you never read that. Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Now when you say sutra, it means an aphorism. Aphorism is so tightly edited that somebody needs to comment on it, to explain it. Like if you say, one of the sutras is Atha Yoga Anushasanam. This you can understand easily. This is the study of yoga. Then comes one big bomb, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So you don't know what is this. So somebody has to explain. So there are many commentaries on the Yoga Sutras. Now, in the Yoga Sutras, there are 4 sections. The first section is not practice. This is what I am trying to tell you. Practice will start tomorrow, second chapter. The first chapter is Samadhi Pada. That means the description or study of the state called Samadhi. Nowadays if you say Samadhi, people think somebody died and they have a Samadhi. Samadhi is a state of mind which becomes, when the mind becomes absolutely clear and quiet without any distractions, this is Samadhi. And it is in that state that one can take off to the higher realms of spiritual understanding. This is Samadhi. In some cases it's a trance state. In Sahaja Samadhi it is not a trance. Even while you are here it can still be. We won't discuss that in detail right now. So Samadhi Pada is the first chapter of the Yoga Sutras. Now it is the standard textbook on yoga. Okay? Understood. Why is not Sadhana Pada, which is the practice, given first as a chapter 1? Because you should know where you are going, right? So Samadhi is the aim. Yeah. In fact, if you look at the 8 angas of yoga, Yama, Niyama, we will explain. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Actually, although Samadhi is included as an anga, it's not an anga, it's the culmination. There are 7 angas really. Samadhi cannot be a branch, it is the culmination. There are many forms of Samadhi which You don't have to go so much into detail. Is that a god called Jhule Lal?
Yes.
This is a Sindhi association.
Yeah.
So, what did I say? I went off to Jhule. Culmination, Samadhi. So these are the 8 parts. When you read first the Samadhi part, which takes you into the understanding of the mind. What are the distractions of the mind? How are they to be removed? And when you remove and the mind becomes crystal clear, then what happens? Then the trance state called Samadhi is experienced, where one understands the fact that the identity with which we move around, because of which all our problems, happiness and problem both. I am so and so, right? This body is me. So I have this problem. What if I understand that I am not this body? I am something beyond this body, even beyond the mind. There are no problems. So this is Samadhi. When you reach that state, then there is Samadhi. And it happens through Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which means when the vrittis of the Chitta, when the distractions and fluctuations of the mind, which is always going on, right? You're sitting here now you are listening to me, but in 1 second the mind can raise out and come back. This is the quality of the mind, characteristic of the mind. So, studying this mind, so the movement or the fluctuations of the mind, the distractions and the opposing thoughts and so on, these form the vrittis. These are called the vrittis. Now, when you remove these vrittis, now the whole science of yoga is how to get rid of these vrittis, how to get rid of the distractions. When I say yoga, please don't think I'm talking only about Abhyasa Yoga or Patanjali's yoga. Yoga is a very large term. The Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters, each one is called an yoga. Right? The Gita, each chapter, starting with Arjuna Vishada Yoga to Sannyasa Yoga, every Bhakti Yoga, everything is a yoga. So, while Kriya Yoga is my parampara, I would say simply by practicing breathing techniques, one doesn't reach. There are other factors involved. There should be some devotion, some bhava. Otherwise, how can we? Mechanical. Kabir Das said, "Jadhad prema na sanchare, so dhad jaan smashan." Jaise khal luhar ki saans le to bin pran, which means the heart, the mind which has no love. Here Kabir meant bhakti, of course, devotion. Is like a smashan. There's nothing. That it also breathes. But then he said the bellows of the blacksmith also breathe, but they have no life. Saans le to bin pran. So when I say yoga, it's a bigger term, but that kriya is part of Abhyasa Yoga. This is all there is to it. So whichever way you follow, whatever path you follow, I am not here to dissuade you or take you away from there and say, no. Suppose somebody says to me, I don't believe in God with form, in the Supreme Being with form. I believe only in the formless Parabrahman described in the Veda. Okay, fine. You still can practice Kriya. Somebody says, no, I believe in God, I love to go to temples, I like the divinity in a form. There is no problem about practicing Kriya there also. So what I'm trying to say is Kriya is a method by which your mind is quietened and led into the spiritual field. That's about it. And generate some energy. Now, we will come to that later. So, after Samadhi Pada, which shows where we are going, comes the Sadhana Pada. And then comes the third one, which most people are interested only in. It's called the Vibhuti Pada. I mean, what are the extraordinary capacities that develop for a yogi who practices? I'm telling you, most people are interested only in that. Among 100 emails or 200 emails I get every day, most of them are about promotions, about marriage, nobody is asking me for Kriya. Vibhuti, Ashtasiddhis, and so on. This is the third section. And then comes the last session, which is called the Kaivalya Pada. Kaivalya Pada. Kaivalya Pada is that section where you understand the culmination of your spiritual sadhana, where you go to where. Now I mentioned to you that Patanjali himself does not use the word Ashtanga Yoga, although there are 8 angas. If you go to the Sadhana Pada, the first sentence, he describes and defines yoga as Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhanani. This is Kriya Yoga. It is Kriya Yoga. So he calls it Kriya Yoga. So what we are trying to study is probably what Patanjali also practiced, the Kriya. Why I am saying this is there are many kinds of Kriyas. Yoga Shastras are full of Kriyas. We will come to that at later stage. Today evening or tomorrow I'll explain why we call it Kriya, what it is and so on. So this is the map. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you how people have reached the same thing that we are trying to reach. The same energy we are trying to get in contact through various paths. I'll give you an example. There was a great saint in Calcutta. A great yogi, great saint. Most people call him a great devotee, bhakta. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Okay. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, we don't know if he did any Kriya at all. We don't know. Why I'm saying this is Babaji, my guru, used to always ask me, some people come and say, we want to have Kriya. Not knowing that there are many other steps before you go there. We want to have Kriya. So he used to ask this regularly question. What Kriya did Meera Bai practice? Who is Meera Bai? Meera Bai was a queen in Rajasthan who fell in love with Krishna. Right? She didn't know any Kriya, she didn't practice any Kriya, and she certainly had a darshan of Krishna because she fell in love with him. And there's a wonderful story about this. There was the great Ramananda, from whom Kabir also took his Ram Nam initiation. So Ramananda had a habit of not seeing women. And used to also, men also he saw rarely, used to put curtains and sit behind. I wish I could do that. But it didn't. So they'll tear the curtains. So anyway, so they had great respect for Ramananda. So he used to sit. And anybody had to go, they had to seek permission from the disciple. Meera Bai went to see Ramananda. Ramananda saw even men rarely, women he never saw. So she said, they went and told her, the Meera Bai is here to see you. He said, please tell her I don't see any ladies. They came back. So Meera Bai wrote a little letter and said, pass this on. In the letter she wrote, from my understanding, there is only one male, that is Krishna. All others are females.